Meet sailing yacht Avanti and her crew, Gerard and Jacqueline. We left Cape Town in December 2021 on our floating home, heading west on an adventure of a lifetime around the world.
We've just inflated Blasoppie and we're ready to go to land for the first time in now 33 days almost to go and clear in. We're excited.
We made it! Oh, land feels good. My legs feel very heavy after 33 days of not seeing ground. The anchorage is a bit fuller than we expected, but it actually looks fuller from where we anchored, so hopefully after we check in we'll come around into the behind the breakwater, because it's pretty calm now. We're not bobbing around too much, but apparently it can get very rolly, so want to move in while there's still space.
We came in this morning to clear in, and upon arrival in town, it's about a 25-minute walk. The immigration was closed and somebody said they would be closed for the whole day, so we started wandering around in town.
And then we actually saw some other cruises and they said they were told it'll open at 2. So once they opened we were able to clear in. It's really simple, the people are super friendly. And then we had a walk around town, got some baguettes.
The standard issue here is baguettes. It's weird for me to see these island people living like the French. And we also got a SIM card, really easy, with you can just buy data so that we can get connected.
This is the sum total of our trash for 33 days, actually, and 2 days in Las Perlas, so 35 days that we were at sea or on islands. We try and throw away as much packaging as possible before we actually bring it on board and wash it, so it doesn't leave for much. Cans or any metal we throw overboard because it does rust, so that's our plan for that. Glass we wash and put back in its place. And some boats throw glass overboard as well because they believe it's sand, but we don't like that. We'll keep it on board until we find a recycling place, then we'll drop it off there. And then the rest is all types of wrappers. As you can see, a lot of M&M small bags that keeps Gerard awake at night. And these type of wrappers we wash before we place them in something that's sealed to keep the smell away.
On first appearances, the island reminds us of Jurassic Park, with Cape Town's 12 apostles, but with Durban's tropical heat. The days were extremely hot, but at night the mountains provided a cool breeze for a good night's rest.
The jobs have started. We're just cleaning off the slime on the side of the hull and scraping off the barnacles. The barnacles look like they're not that bad, not much on the anti-foul. I haven't dove under the boat, but it looks like it's just above the waterline. So just scraping those off with a plastic scraper.
It's a beautiful morning in the bay. The sun is coming up beautifully. Gerard's busy with the hull, as you saw, and I am washing the walls. We've got a bit of mold growing on the white part, so I've wiped off the roof and the sides. I've still got a bit to go. And then it's breakfast and going to land. We need to do laundry. It's quite funny when you arrive on an island and you think, oh, 30 days at sea, now we get to rest. But actually there's so much to do once we arrive. And then of course we only have 3 days, or we have about 3, we're planning on having 3 days here before going to the next island. So it's not that we really have time to rest or just go explore. There's lots to do, but hopefully we can still spin by the cemetery today. There's a famous French painter and musician buried here. and this cemetery is one of the few tourist attractions of the main village. The island's natural beauty and friendly people are its biggest attractions.
The Marquesas Islands form part of the Greater French Polynesia. It's believed that the Marquesas were first discovered by the locals coming from the west, and that the Society Islands like Tahiti and Bora Bora were missed and only discovered later. Hivaoa is an official port of entry situated the furthest east and had the best shop for provisioning and shortest distance to carry jerry cans of fuel back to the boat. Hivaoa is the home of 2,200 people, and the economy is mostly driven by artists, farmers and tourism.
It's early morning, you can see my eyes are a bit puffy. I've had an allergic reaction to something on the island, but we've left Hivaoa and we're on our way to Fatu Hiva to meet up with some friends. It's about 40 nautical miles and we left just after 6 in the morning. We're motoring at the moment and we have to go up against the island as coast, Hivaoa's coast, so that we have a better wind direction when we turn south to make it to the island with a better wind direction.
We've got about 30 nautical miles left and we're on a really close reach. We're beating into weather, but at least the sea is quite calm, so we're doing on average about 6 knots, and the wind is up and down between 13 apparent to maybe 18 apparent, so we should be there well before sunset.
One of the reasons I don't like upwind sailing, I just got drenched.
Fatu Hiva is situated upwind of Hivaoa, and its picture-perfect Bay of Virgins would be an ideal port of entry for sailors coming from Panama. However, you cannot clear in here, but some sailors still make this their first unofficial stop before going to clear in.
We've just thrown anchor and it's not great. It's a bit of a rocky bottom and it's not great for our anchor, but there's manta rays in the bay, so we have to get in the water now.
Wow.
The manta rays made their way into the anchorage every day, not minding us onlookers as long as we didn't bother them or get in their way. We only had females swimming around us, larger and smaller ones, coming and going. We think we counted 8 of them, as they have very distinct black dots to make them quite easy to identify.
Once on land, we could see why sailors prefer coming here first. The Bay of Virgins, as it's called, has to be one of the most beautiful places we have ever seen, and the locals could not have been more welcoming. We went for a walk around the village, waiting for a small shop to open, in search of some baguettes, when a local artist asked if we would like to have some fruit, and he gave us pamplemousse, a fruit similar to grapefruit, breadfruit, bananas, and even a yellowfin tuna fillet, all for free. Dinner was sorted.
Once we had taken it all back to the boat, it was time to get our legs working and go on a hike to the nearby waterfall, picking up a coconut along the way. Locals were more than willing to give us fruit if we asked, but you cannot just pick up out of their gardens. It might not look like the trees belong to them, but their lack of fences does not give us the right to take whatever we want. Next hike was up to the cell tower, overlooking the bay with all the boats. We found a freshwater stream next to the road that the locals told us was good to drink and ice cold. Next to the main road was also a mango tree, and we tried our best to get a view. Most people living on Fatuhiva are either farmers or artists. Majority of these artists are tiki sculptors, tattoo artists and painters. We made our way around to the bigger bay and the main town when we heard that a cruise ship was coming into port. Yes, that means a lot more people, but it also meant that the local artists would be bringing their goodies to sell, which meant that we could have a look at them after our morning walk through the streets of town and looking at the beautiful homes with their immaculate gardens.
That's like green onion roots, and they put it into like ginger oil to make it yellow.
These islands are not only littered with hundreds of tikkies and fruit trees, but also the most beautiful flowers. Join us next week as we continue through the Marquesas. Our dinghy engine dies on us and we enjoy some local performances. Thank you to our Patreons for supporting the making of these videos financially. If you want to help but can't be a Patreon, like our videos. Leaving comments and subscribing helps YouTube to show our videos to more new people to enjoy. See you next week.